Morning. All right, we're live Friday morning. Dr. Eagle here. First day of December 2023. If you're there, please say hello. Good morning. I'm live on multiple platforms this morning, so if you are out there, platforms is good. I see good morning. Thank you over there on Instagram. You guys are piling in. I see some hearts over there. Anyone on Facebook or YouTube, say hello. I don't know if LinkedIn can comment, but I'm live there too. So hey, good morning. Happy Friday. So what should we talk about today, huh? This is a live Q&A. I've been playing with doing some topics over, to open up these Q&As. Was not prepared with a particular topic today. So I guess we're just going to jump into the live Q&A. But if you're new here, this is what I would love to know. I would love to know where you're from, what you're interested in. I am a cortisol and stress expert. I treat adrenal fatigue. And here's the thing about the adrenal fatigue that I treat. A lot of people think when I say adrenal fatigue, that's people that are down and out, they can't do anything, they're exhausted. I actually treat more people like me that are moms running around doing 8,000 things and trying to keep up with everything and finding themselves losing their joy, finding themselves gaining weight, finding themselves just not feeling like their spunk happy self. I think we get lost in life a lot. Would you guys agree? We try to keep up with everyone, and then it's at the expense of our own health. And the majority of my patients are in that category. You know, you're amazing people doing amazing things and working and taking care of families and men and women alike, just getting everything done and finding that you just don't necessarily feel happy with the way you feel, whatever that symptom may be: anxiety, sleep issues, weight gain, hair loss, wrinkles, belly fat, bloating, constipation, joint pain, not feeling joy, and being like, gosh, where'd I go? I used to be fun. Those are the people I'm speaking to here. So if you were one of those people, I want to know, where are you from? What do you struggle with? What would be some great topics for us to talk about during these lives? Because these lives, I show up for you guys, man. I don't show up for me. I show up so that I can help you. So give me some feedback on some of the talks that you would love to see. I do not see anyone on any comments from Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn. If someone's over there, can you just give me a shout out that I actually am live and that you actually see me? Because I'm not sure. Liver health. Okay, Amy, thank you. I see you, liver. We can definitely talk about the liver today. I think that would be fun. I'm going to write these down as I go so that if you guys are quiet, I know what to talk about. But liver definitely ties into stress. 100%. Our poor livers. They work overtime. Anyone new out there? I have over on Instagram, my passion is nutrition. Yes. I love talking about nutrition. I love talking about it from a biochemical standpoint. So little news flash, I'm a little bit of a biochemistry nerd stuck in a hip hop dancer like personality. But I do love, I love talking about that. And it always amazes me because we run off nutrition. I mean, that's our fuel, right? So you wouldn't drive a car without gas in it, yet we put this horrible fuel in our bodies and we think we figure out why are we not running, right? It's important. I just read this thing. This is from Garden Moose over on Instagram. I just read this thing about seeing a wrinkle on your earlobe, and it means a person has heart disease. Thoughts? Oh gosh, I vaguely remember hearing something like that at one point. I don't know how true it is, to be honest. I wouldn't have anything to back that up. And I do think there's more to the diagnosis of heart disease because I don't know what that means, right? So I have some people that say I have high blood pressure, but they wouldn't consider that heart disease, but physicians would. Right? So is it a symptom? Is it a disease? Does it mean congestive heart failure? I don't know. Does anyone else out there know? Has anyone else heard that? I'd have to look that one up, sweetheart. I honestly don't know. And sometimes I don't know. That's okay too. It is live, right? So A lot of people tell me I should submit questions ahead of time so that I know what to answer, but I just don't find that fun. I find it more fun just to be put on the spot and figure it out as I go. So here we are, right? And I don't know, do I have any wrinkles on my earlobes? Now you got me worried. Do I? No, I hope not. I've had something weird happening, which I'm trying to figure out, is every night I dance hip hop, the next morning I wake up and I can't hear in my right ear. And then within a couple hours, it goes away. So at first we thought it was rotation. So my chiropractor and I were like, okay, we'll just, we'll work on the neck or whatever. I don't think it is. I think it's the tightness of my neck, maybe from flowing it around. And I think I sleep in a weird position on the nights I do after hip hop. I don't know. Sometimes there's weird things happening, right? Good morning. Happy Friday. This is funner. Yes. Maybe people missed your change of time. Maybe. The time change always throws me off with the people on the Pacific mostly, because you guys then are here earlier. But you know what? Some of you can catch me before work. I hope you'll keep joining back. The replays are posted, so you can always comment below. By the way, I have an instant responder set up where if you type the word quiz, you'll automatically get a link DM'd to my adrenal fatigue quiz. So if you're sitting here watching and you're new here and you're like, gosh, do I have adrenal fatigue? Type quiz in the comments, not while I'm live. You have to do that on Instagram or Facebook after the post. Oh, good morning, Steve. How are you? All right, so I'm going to open it up to questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to dive into the liver. We're going to go with Amy and liver health. Amy, if you had any specific questions regarding the liver, I would love it if you would jot those down as a good starting point, because we could talk about the liver all day long, right? Anyone out there on YouTube? Give me a wave. If you're on LinkedIn, I don't think you can comment. I don't know. If you can, please do. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Good morning. All right, Amy wants to talk about the liver and talk about foods that can detox the liver and how to detox the liver. Okay, so let's talk liver. I want to talk about the liver naturally detox. So the word detox is a little bit of a, I don't know, kind of a buzzword. People think that they can, trash their liver all year and do a week detox and it'll reset. It doesn't really work that way. It naturally detoxes. So the liver is basically like the janitor coming in every night and taking out your garbage, right? So the more you fill up your garbage can, the more work it has to do, right? So what fills our garbage can? Excess hormones, toxins, from food, from environment. So when our liver is not, let's say that we could have, I'm trying to think of a good way to relate this to make it really understandable. But if you had, I think in my book, I describe it as a receptionist. So if you have a desk and you have a receptionist and they come in every day at 9 o'clock and they start taking care of their to-do list, right? Imagine that there's just stuff being added to the to-do list from every different direction, right? All the employees start coming and packing stuff up on the desk. The receptionist has to choose, what am I going to do first? What's most important? They have to prioritize. So the liver is the receptionist. So it's got all this stuff coming in and it has to decide, what am I going to do first? What's going to hurt me the most? And what do I have to clear? And what can I store? Here's the thing that people don't always realize. When the liver puts something off, it says, you know what? This isn't urgent. It's just estrogen. Let's not freak out. It puts it in the fat cells and it sits there, right? And the receptionist kind of forgets about it because there's more stuff coming in, right? So it's like, oh, I'll do that later. I know all of you can relate. Like I have this bin here of papers. They're sorted, but they're in order of importance of what I have to do, right? So this is leftover from last week. So this is all the stuff the liver would still have stored. And you know as well as I do that stuff gets at the bottom and doesn't get done. So that's the liver's job. It's always detoxifying. When someone says, we're going to do a detox of the liver, similar to my 7-day ultimate detox program, right? That's kind of essential to me sitting there. Okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to go through all of this and I'm not going to add anything new to my plate until this is gone, right? That's a detox, right? So the way that you detox it is by not adding more stuff to your desk, right? And then you can take some additional herbs like milk thistle, burdock root. My total liver support is great for this. It's up on the back up here in with a blue label. If you start taking stuff like that, it's like bringing in a helper to clear out that box. Okay. So like, for example, I have a 7-day ultimate detox program. It's available on my website. It's do it yourself, but what it is it's 7 days of a meal plan that doesn't bog down the liver. So takes out alcohol, takes out sugar, takes out all these things that are slowing the liver down so that the liver can really go to its inbox and be like, what do I need to do next? The problem is if you have, multiple inboxes, it's going to take longer. So in that case, you might do a detox for a week and then maybe even 2 weeks and then kind of do easy, still continue with a healthy diet. My total energy turnaround programs for this, my book has suggestions for this as well. And then you go back and you do the detox again. You do it more regularly until that clears out. So hopefully that explains what a detox is. Detox foods, I really love to use vegetables for this purpose. You'll have a lot of different people argue, but I say a lot of water, a lot of vegetable, and a lot of herbs. That's kind of where I go with that. I do have an article at drpingle.com that has foods to detox liver, things like beets, right? Dandelion greens, some of my favorites. Dandelion greens, I love. So if you go to drpingle.com and you type in detox, I think it will pull up foods to detox the liver. I think there's also an article on herbs to detox the liver, but my total liver support from my private line that's back there is great for that. And you can change the dose effectively. If you're looking for a dietary detox, a clean out your body type thing, check out my ultimate detox program. I hope that helps. Did that explanation help you guys understand how the liver works? Because I think we forget. And keep in mind that every single thing in our body has to go through the liver. So you make estrogen to ovulate, the excess has to go through the liver. It's not even just stuff from the outside, it's stuff from the inside that has to go through the liver. Right? The liver has a lot of employees that it's dealing with all the time. A lot of people putting stuff on its desk. So make it easier on the liver. And that's the best kind of detox. Yeah. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Yeah. And one way you can also, speaking of liver, one way you can know whether your liver is healthy or not is a lot by your skin. So if your skin is very smooth, it's bright, there's not a lot of rashes or acne, you're feeling like you're very bright. I would say the liver is probably decently happy, right? And if it's not, definitely need to look at the liver. Does that help? All right, I have another question on Facebook here from Debbie. Topic: specific vitamin deficiencies one at a time. Oh, to do like each day, maybe each week doing some certain vitamin profiles. That would be awesome. Causes foods high in certain nutrients and vitamins, how to read labels. I think that would be great. In fact, the how to read labels, I'd love to postpone for a different time so I can bring some labels in here and teach you guys how to do that. But in the meantime, I do have an article on that, on how to read labels. Ideally, what you're eating doesn't have a label. What? It doesn't have, oh my gosh, I just had like a cool thumbs up bubble. Who sent me that? That was cool. Instagram sent me this big, that was neat. That's a new one. Live, the stuff that happens live. But ideally, the food you eat doesn't have a label. A banana doesn't have a label, right? Kale doesn't have a label, right? But if you are leaning towards things that have labels, you need to understand how to find hidden ingredients. It's really, really, really important. And I think nutrient profiles would be awesome as well. Thank you for that suggestion. Good morning. Thank you. Okay, good. I saw some questions on Instagram, so I'm going to roll over here. I think I did. More on the liver. Okay, let's talk about that. Yes, liver. Can you discuss pathways and how to tell if they're open to detox? Are you talking like really biochemically driven? There's some tests you can do, like oat testing, even Nutri-Eval testing that will actually look at metabolites of biochemical pathways. Metabolites of biochemical pathways that will tell you which enzymes are impacted or not. I think in general, it never hurts to support the glutathione pathways and the methylation pathways. What does that mean? So methylation is adding a methyl group to something in order to start to remove it out of the body or in order to cause it a reaction. So a methyl group, a CH3, gets added to another chemical, another compound in the body, and that gives it a physical change that triggers something else. What's really cool about our body is that's how it signals something. It's like, okay, so going back to the desk example, right? If there's something that I want someone else to do, I may pull out my thing and put a sticky note on it, right? That says, take me here. Right? That's kind of what methylation does. It puts a sticky note on it and it says, this needs to go here, go here. And so looking at supporting methylation, you do that with methylated folate, you do that with methylated B vitamins. You can do that with a lot of different amino acids. That's definitely a very important one to support. And glutathione support is really important. The hard thing with glutathione is supplementally, it doesn't necessarily cross the blood-brain barrier very well. So you're almost better supplementing as precursors. So supplementing things like N-acetylcysteine which is an amino acid, can really help with supporting glutathione. But if you're not methylating, which a lot of us aren't, I have the MTHFR mutation. If I don't take methylated folate, I don't methylate. It's as simple as that. And so I have to take methylated B vitamins. It's just part of my thing. Once I did, my glutathione went right back up, right? All my antioxidants started rising once I supported methylation. There's many different ways to do that. There are many specialized tests. I wouldn't say that to the layman, it would be easy to know which pathway is being impacted without that testing. I usually look for signs of poor methylation, brain fog, depression, high blood pressure, previous miscarriages, rashes, autoimmune disease, things like that usually can trigger me there. That would get me to understand that there's a methylation issue. Does that help? And yes, Tara, I do have a YouTube channel. I've had a YouTube channel for years and I've ignored it. And for those of you on YouTube, I'm sorry, man. I'm back. I'm really taking a strong focus starting here during the holidays of really optimizing and making my YouTube a fantastic resource for you guys. I do not want to come here in June and say that my YouTube channel has not been completely revamped. I am revamping it. I want to put educational videos. I would love it if all of you subscribed to it and went along on this journey with me and commented. And if there's something I put out there that you guys are like, wow, Dr. P, this was great, tell me. I have a lot of videos up there. They're old, some of them from 3 years ago. So I am going to go in and start posting new things. I'm trying to commit to posting once a week. I would love it if you guys would support me in that way. I really, really would. It would make me very happy. You can find me by typing in just Dr. Trisha Pingle. It should pull up. I believe my handle is Dr. Trisha Pingle. So like youtube.com, Dr. Trisha Pingle. I'm pretty sure that's it. So yeah, I would love it if you could do that. That'd be awesome. Gigi from New York. Hi, Gigi. Nice to meet you. I'm on letrozole for 2 years and now I have fatty liver. What can I do or eat? Letrozole. I have to look up the mechanism of action of that. Hang on. Oh, okay. Yeah. For breast cancer. Yeah. Okay. So like, is it estrogen blocker or with people with cancer and estrogens? Do they think that's what's caused the fatty liver? Or could it be something else? That's maybe my first question is sometimes, especially when post-cancer treatment, and I'm not a cancer specialist. So I have some amazing functional medicine doctors that and naturopathic doctors that do oncology and would probably give great advice on maybe alternatives or options or whatnot to manage the side effects of that. So Dr. Jen Simmons comes to mind. She's a breast cancer specialist. She's very active on Instagram. So check her out, Jen Simmons, JENNSIMMONS. She may have a lot more information on this. This wouldn't be my area, but I can say the first thing is it strictly the medication that's causing the fatty liver? And if so, if you're going to have to stay on the medication, if you've weighed the risks and benefits of therapy and it comes to, hey, I'm going to have to stay on this medication for whatever reason, you may have a side effect of fatty liver. I mean, it's interesting. I learned this when I was in med school, the difference between the word allopathic medicine versus naturopathic medicine, right? Allopathic means other disease. So, the joke was always like, well, we'll get rid of your cholesterol, but you'll get liver disease from it, right? It's like, we'll get rid of this disease in lieu of this disease. And that's kind of, it's kind of the reason why I went into naturopathic medicine and looking at root cause medicine is trying to use medications as little as possible. When you have to be really kind to your liver. So really clean diet, which you should be doing probably anyway with that diagnosis. Really, really, really clean diet. Like no processed foods, no artificial sugars, no artificial colors. Really looking at whole food would be really important. Lots of water. Talk to your doctor about if you can use any liver support herbs. That would be one. Once again, I'm not a specialist using those types of medications. I'm not telling you to take it without talking to your doctor. You should. There are a lot of liver support medications, though, that can help a lot with fatty liver, and they're really mild. You just have to make sure they don't interfere with the mechanism of action of the medication. Does that help? Steve says, YouTube popped up as Dr. Trisha Pingle and subscribed. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. I really do. I do try to copy all of my podcasts there as well. So if I do someone else's podcast, I try to put that on YouTube as well, because a lot of you like to listen to those. So trying to get all those up there. There's some missing. I have to find them. Still on liver today. It's liver day. I have cirrhosis. What can I eat? How about vitamins? Same thing. Real clean liver. Support methylation. Use liver herbs. Take a look at my total liver support and talk to your doctor about it. See if there's any contraindications to it. It's cold here today, so I'm wearing sweatpants. Total Health Apothecary, Total Liver Support. You can find them from everything links from my websites, guys. If you go to drpingle.com, you'll find my supplement store there. I think it's at the bottom. But these are things like dandelion, artichoke, inositol, L-methionine, milk thistle, garlic, and turmeric. So when you guys are asking, a lot of you, what herbs are we talking about? What nutrients are we talking about? I'll repeat them. These are some good starting points. Dandelion root. And by the way, there's a difference. Many people don't know this. Important point about dandelion. Dandelion root acts differently than dandelion leaf. And you can also find supplements with the whole plant. Okay. The root is more liver focused. The leaf is more diuretic focused. So water removal. The whole plant would do a little bit of both. Very important, because when people look for dandelion, they say, well, they interchange root and leaf. In this particular case, it's a very different purpose. So when you're looking at a liver supplement, it should be dandelion root, which this is. Artichoke leaf, inositol, L-methionine, that's an amino acid, methionine, milk thistle, which I love. I love milk thistle for so many things outside of the liver. It's an anti-inflammatory. It can work against viral loads. It's freaking phenomenal. In fact, I have a article on milk thistle, and a lot of people and a lot of doctors will say, well, you can't take milk thistle because of this, that, and this. There are some truth to some of those claims, not all. It's a balance of when to take things and how to take things. Would I take milk thistle at the exact same time as a medication that's saving my life, like a seizure medication? No, because it's going to impact it, right? So there are certain things like blood thinners, seizure medications, you really have to be careful with milk thistle. But a lot of the others that we take, like thyroid medication or, metformin or cholesterol medication, it can be used, but it's used in different timing. So it might not be taken at the same time. The dose may make a difference. So talk to your doctor about it. It's not an absolute no. It's just a customized no or yes. Right? Does that help? There's a bug in my way. Oh, goodness. Oh, and also garlic and turmeric. What's cool about garlic and turmeric is you can use them in foods as well. You can do supplement or food. I have articles on both of those as well. Okay, question from Garden Moose on Instagram. Can a 2-year-old whose mother has MTHR have this issue? The child is dealing with eczema and allergies. Yeah, I mean, the child may have the genetic mutation as well, right? I find, and I'm not a pediatrician, but earlier in my career, I did see peds, and through med school, I did see peds, and I did a lot of rotations with pediatrics because my father-in-law is a pediatrician. So I went and did a ton of that. And I found that children with eczema and allergies almost always improved with removal of dairy. So I don't know if the child is consuming dairy. That would be the first place I would start. And then the next thing I would go to would be gluten or wheat. And also really eating a clean diet, right? Not a lot of crap is important. And then you can also have the child genetically tested for MTHFR. It's a cheek swab. I don't know if I would supplement the folate at that point though, or the methylation at that point. I just wouldn't overload the desk, right? So what I find is the dairy tends to overload the desk, right? Because they're allergic to it, or they're not metabolizing it well, or there's a problem and it's causing an inflammatory response and the body's trying to tell you. What was coolest part about working in pediatrics when I did was their bodies tell you exactly what's going on. We just ignore it. I don't know why. We're in this suppressive mindset. Oh, they have eczema. Let's put suppressive cream on it. And it's like, well, wait a minute. They have eczema. Their body is pure. It's like, here I am. There's something going on. Tell me. I'm telling you. And we just, as a society and in allopathic medicine, we just ignore it. We need to pay attention to that. That's a sign, because what'll happen is the body will start to adapt to that stress over time, and it will be harder to tell what's causing what. And the gut integrity will break down, and then there'll be more problems as they move along. I tend to find that dairy allergies started either eczema and ear infections, or eczema as a child, ear infections as a toddler, strep throat as a teenager, and acne, and then all sorts of other stuff starts to happen. That was my experience. Moose Lodge on YouTube. Hey there. How's it going? Do you like castor oil packs on the liver? Yeah, great point. I do love castor oil packs. Do you guys know what a castor oil pack is? Anyone? Yes, no? Castor oil packs are basically rubbing castor oil over an area. You cover it with a thin cloth and you put heat over it. And castor oil has some amazing impacts on the liver. I've used it and recommended it a ton for menstrual cramps, but also when you're trying to just support the liver every day, it's a great way to do it. You can pre-purchase castor oil packs, so they're not so messy. You can also, on the cheap, make it yourself. Castor oil is incredibly inexpensive. So being able to put that over an area and then just put a heating pad over it is really simple. The reason you do the cloth is that it's really sticky. It'll ruin your heating pad. Great question. I love it. Oh, good. My ear just opened. Oh, lots of people joined recently. Hello. Tina says, love your book. Was so excited to see that you signed it. Thank you. Yes. If you order it from Amazon, it doesn't get signed, but feel free to order it from Amazon. It's fine. I just want people to have it. But if you order it from my website through my store, I try to sign everything. So here's the one thing with the Christmas. I have a lot of people who like to order my book as gifts for somebody. So if you do order it directly from me and you're giving it as a gift, put in the notes field or something, or send an email that says you want it signed to somebody else. Otherwise, I'm going to sign it to whoever ordered it. But yeah, I do like to sign them. Why not? Right? I hope you're enjoying it. All right, another question on, this will tie into the liver as well, actually. This is a question on acne. Anyone else want to know about acne? Okay. Is there anything internally you recommend for acne-prone skin? Yeah, and part of it, and granted, like I said, I don't know your health history. So once again, same disclaimers apply when it comes to using liver supports, okay? But liver support, I find that acne comes out of the skin. Skin is our largest detoxification organ. It tells us something's not right. So if you're having acne come out, number one, supporting the liver, I will give you a caution that often if the liver is bogged down, if there's a lot of stuff on the desk, like we were talking about, lots of papers, sometimes when you first start liver support, the acne will get worse for a few days because it's like the body's like, oh my gosh, get this out of here, right? And it just starts doing that really fast. And then it clears up. Also, so then that would be first step, is get that support to the liver. The next step is, what was bogging the liver down in the first place? And that's where the different treatments come in. That's where, when you Google this, you get 8,000 answers, because it comes down to the root cause. A lot of people say, well, it's hormonal. I would argue that very rarely do I find it's too much hormone like being made. I usually find it's too much storage of hormone. That's a liver issue. That's not a hormone issue. That's a liver issue. That's your bucket of hormones here, a stack of papers, has filled up, and the liver's not clearing it. So it's coming out in the skin. It may not be that you get 8,000 pounds of male of hormone a day. It may just mean that you're not clearing it. So that's still a liver issue. A lot of people say gut health. I agree. Maybe you're eating something. What does that do though, guys? It bogs down the liver, right? So it's really important to know what makes your liver unhappy. My body does not like alcohol. Now, granted, will I still have a little bit of wine or like a mezcal drink with a girlfriend periodically? Yeah, but I could have a half a drink and I will pay for it the next day. It is just not, my body's like, I do not like this. I'm going to tell you, I'm not interested in having this. And I know it, right? So that's why I very rarely drink it, because I know, right? So figure out what it is that irritates your body. For me, I had really, really bad acne when I was in my 20s, really bad. And I've been a professional model from the time I was a child. So I was modeling, and it was becoming an issue because my skin was just covered. And of course they were like, oh, take this, hormone blocker, go on the pill, do chemical peels, go do Accutane. They're like telling me all the stuff to do. That was all topical. Some of it I did, some of it I didn't. No change, because all that stuff was bogging down my liver more. What was my root cause? What was making my liver so bogged down? Number one, MTHFR. I was not getting enough B vitamins. I was not taking care of my stress level. My methylation was out of control, and I was eating a ton of dairy. Stopped dairy, started to address when I stopped dairy, my acne went down by 99%. So it was no longer daily. It would just happen during my cycle, and it was in really small amounts. Then when I really got a hold of my adrenal fatigue and started to really give myself, methylated folate, methylated B vitamins, I started exercising regularly. I started taking care of my stress level. Now my skin looks like this. I'm 47, my skin is way better. And it didn't take very long. I would say within 6 months, I was pretty much acne free completely. Like, it's very rare that I get a zit since then. And that was in my 20s. So it was all liver. Does that help? I took a lot on that time on that one, so I'm sorry, but I think the liver is an important topic today. Looks like, right? What to do for beginning stage of non-alcoholic fatty liver? Same thing, same recommendations, hun. Take a look at my good, Moose Lodge. I'm glad. Take a look at my Ultimate Detox. It's on my website. I think it's $49. You can do it repetitively. You can do it every 2 months if you want. So what's nice is once you buy it, you own it. So you can keep that for the rest of your life and do it regularly to help kind of support. And what's interesting when people do that week long, what's interesting is what comes up, right? A lot of people have a lot of emotions on day 3. They're like, oh my God, I'm angry, or I'm sad, or whatever. That stuff pent up. This is another very important point. Okay. The liver can be bogged down by emotion. Let me say that again. The liver can be bogged down by emotion. We hold anger. We hold sadness. We hold grief. We hold these things in our body, and our body knows. The mind and the body are 100% connected. Okay. So sometimes when you detox, these emotions come up and people fight it. They're afraid of it. They don't want to feel it, and they stop. I would encourage you to feel it, to know going into it, hey, I may get a little emotional. Tell your family. I get really mean on day 3. I don't know why, but every time I do it, I'm fine on day 1. I'm like, okay, I'm a little hungry, but it's a little lighter diet, but I'm okay. And day 2, I'm usually all right. Day 3, it's like I'm miserable. But then day 4, I wake up and I feel like $1 million every time. So I get through it, right? I just say, you know what? I'm just going to get through it. I'm just going to be mean for a day. And I tell my everyone that. I'm like, I just got to figure out where this comes from. I don't know. And what's interesting is the more I've done it, the less mean I've become. So I think I'm releasing a lot of whatever that is. And I'm not a mean person in general. So it's like total 180 from like what I'm like normally. Normally I'm like, goofing around with the kids and dancing in the kitchen. And that day I am just like, oh, it's awful. So keep in mind, there's an emotional component there. So when you go through a detox, pay attention to what your body's trying to tell you. Do you get rashes? Do you get acne? Do you get mean? Does your sleep change? It's going to start to tell you, hey, this is the bucket I'm cleaning out. There's a lot in this bucket over here. Like, let's start paying attention. And that may mean that you need to hire someone to come in and clear that bucket, which would be hiring someone to come in and clean the bucket on a regular basis. Does that make sense? I just ordered Total Liver Support, so I'm excited we're talking about the liver. Do we take this before bed? I love taking liver support before bed because that's when the janitor comes in and takes out the garbage. You may have some stuff during the day that's taken out if you have a lot of papers, but for the most part, when you're sleeping is when your body goes in and it repairs. Now, some people, if their liver's bogged down, sometimes when they take it at night, they don't sleep well because there's just too much. The janitor's waking you up, right? So in that case, I say take it during the day until the janitor has caught up, and then you can start taking it at night. But there's really no steadfast rule. Okay. And dosage, always go low, lowest effective dose. Start low, see how you feel. Feel like you need more, take a little bit more. Obviously, there's a cap on the bottle. You don't want to go above what the bottle recommends, but that doesn't mean you start with that. You start low and you work your way up. Why take more than you need? Okay. Will any of your supplements help with fungal issues? A probiotic would definitely help with fungal issues. And my Total Probiotic's great because it has Saccharomyces boulardii in it, which technically is a fungus, but it's it helps to increase the gut lining of IgA and immune response in the gut. My Total Probiotic. That's a favorite. That's my top seller, hands down. And it's shelf stable, so I just keep it by the bed. Do you save these lives? What do you mean? Oh, save these lives. I was like thinking save these lives, like save someone's life. Yeah, the replay goes to Instagram, the replay goes to YouTube, and the replay goes to LinkedIn, and the replay goes to Facebook. So yeah. And I'm going to try to break them up in shorts. And smaller clips, which is what I'm working on for the new year, so that there's a little bit more like quick response for you guys. But honestly, if you guys could support me on YouTube, I really, really, really appreciate it. I'm really trying to grow that. I do think it'll end up being an amazing resource for all of you when you have little questions to be able to go to my page, type in the search, and find the snippet about it. So I really, really want to grow that. So help me out. Subscribe. And if you don't follow me on wherever you're watching me right now, please follow me. You have fun stuff. I dance, I have fun, I do funny skits, but I also give information. So I think medicine can be fun. I think health can be fun. I don't think it has to be a bore. I don't think you have to dread going to the doctor. I had a conversation with a friend, actually, little side note, but I had a conversation with a friend the other day, and she said, I literally dread talking to my doctor. She's like, I hate seeing my doctor. She's like, it gives me anxiety. I don't like it. I don't feel like I'm listened to. I feel like it's a waste of my time, but I have to go. And that made me so sad. It really did. It made me so sad because I love talking to my patients. Like, I look forward to talking to my patients. I'm excited when I have a patient day and I can check in and see how people are doing. And so the thought of someone like going to a doctor and their doctor just doesn't really care if they're there and they feel like a number and they don't feel like the doctor wants to be there really, really breaks my heart. That has to change if we're going to get well in our country. That has to change. Doctors have to work with patients. We have to we're real people. I'm a real person and I screw up and I feel bad some days and I'm a mom. And there are days I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? And I feel like that's important stuff to share because we are all just people trying to figure it out, right? So I'm hoping it'll be great. And I get in Moose Lodges, and then there's Piggy. Yes. Piggy's not out here today. She, I don't know. I took her out the other day, and she had a great time. And we went shopping, and we went to we literally I took her out to lunch, and we went to Walgreens, and we did all these errands. And I think she injured her hip. She's not walking well today. So I banned her to her bed. So she can't walk around. So she'll be back next week, I'm sure. What is the name of your book? Total Health Turnaround. I will grab one. I'm stuck on my floor here. It's going to be backwards, I know, but Total Health Turnaround, the all-natural plan to reverse adrenal fatigue, lose weight, and feel better fast. It is not just a book. It's also a plan. It has, it goes through my 4 pillars. So it talks about how stress impacts every major condition in our country. And then it talks about supplements that are great for reducing stress. And then it talks about, it has a nutrition plan, completely a 30-day nutrition plan. It has a 30-day exercise plan. So it's not just educational. That's why it's so thick. So if you guys are looking for a way to get started, if you're a self-starter, this is a great, it's $22, for all that. So, which is a lot less than it was when the publisher released it. I think it was close to $40 when it was originally released. So I've cut it down tremendously because I want you to get it. And if you like it, gift it to somebody else. Let them read it, right? Okay. Hey, Sarah, how are you? Oh, thank you for following me. What are your thoughts on grounding and grounding sheets for the bed? I've never used the grounding sheets for the bed, and I have about 4 minutes, guys. So I'll try to catch up with existing questions on Instagram. Sorry, I lost track of time. But I've never used the grounding sheets on the bed. I've had a lot of people talk to me about grounding mats, and I think they can have some value if you're around a computer all day long or you keep a phone in your pocket, which I don't recommend. What I would recommend is deplugging yourself, unplugging yourself, going outside, putting your feet in the grass, right? Actually removing yourself from the electronics. Now, granted, they're everywhere, right? We have these signals everywhere. So a lot of people would argue the grounding mat would improve that. And I don't discourage them. I think it's definitely not going to hurt to do it, and it may actually help. But I haven't used the grounding sheets at all. But definitely unplugging yourself is important. Yeah. Okay, I think I caught up. This may be the last question for today. It's already 10 o'clock. Where did the time go? If you liked this, I'll answer this question. But if you guys like this, give me hearts, give me comments. Yes, great. Share it. Tag other people that should listen to it. Let's do this. Let's continue it. I'm here every Friday. All right. Is apple cider vinegar good for stopping nighttime hunger? When should it be taken for optimal benefits? I actually don't think it's good for stopping nighttime hunger if you take it before bed, because it's going to stimulate the digestive juices and you're going to want to eat. So I would take it before your actual meals or first thing in the morning, and make sure if you're having nighttime hunger, where wanting to eat where you shouldn't eat, there's a couple things to consider. Number 1, are you getting enough nutrition? So one of the first things that people report when they start following my nutrition plan, particularly in the Total Energy Turnaround program, the group program that I do twice a year, next one's April, I think, might be March, I'm not sure, is that when they start eating highly nutritious foods, they no longer crave food when they shouldn't have it. So their nighttime cravings go away, their cravings for snacks go away. Don't underestimate the power of nutrition in your food. When you take a bite of something, what are you giving your body? If your body is getting all the nutrients that it needs to run, it won't be hungry. If you're always hungry or you feel like you're always snacking, people immediately run to insulin. Insulin plays a role here, right? If you're insulin resistant, it's going to change your blood sugar levels. Your blood sugar levels are going to cause you to eat. If you're under stress and you're running from a bear and you don't have the right nutrition, your body's going to want to eat. But this all comes down to, Are you giving yourself proper nutrition? So that would be the first thing I'd look at. Apple cider vinegar can be used before meals to help prompt the hunger response and break things down. Make sense? All right. You guys have been great. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry, Kelly. The dermatologist put me on spironolactone for polycystic ovarian cystic disease. What do you think about this medicine? Spironolactone is a diuretic. It will decrease your minerals. It does have side effects. It is not a, it also blocks testosterone, right? Which is why they put you on it for polycystic ovarian syndrome. There are other things that can be done, Kelly. Absolutely. There are so many other things that can be done, sweetie. I don't think it's a temporary fix. It'll help your acne. It's not a long-term fix, and it can worsen things down the line, because I believe you need to be addressing your insulin levels more than your hormone levels when it comes to polycystic ovarian syndrome. Of course, hormones play a role, but you need to be looking at your insulin levels as well. And there's a lot of other things you can do to block that pathway without having to use that medication and have the diuretic side effect. So there you go. All right, guys. Will I see you next week? I hope so. I can't play my usual music because I will totally get banned. So I guess we'll go into, I don't know, some other one as we dance our way off. But really good to see you all. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, guys. Take care. There we go. Take care, guys. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. See you next week.